Hey there, chart friends. Lamont here from Chart Guys, checking in on the electric vehicle sector and a couple of those battery names. So let's see. Oh, and I do apologize for not being here. We had we being the Chart Guys, had a trial run for a clubhouse call. So we're not sure where that's going yet, but that's where I was, and I'm back now. So for Tesla, we're kind of watching this expanding range. It's really sideways, but there is a bit of expansion to it, right? Because you have this initial EQ, right? This EQ that broke bullish was a fake out, broke bearish was a fake out, and so we're just kind of in a sideways range. But because you had these two fake outs on either side, it's got a bit of an expanding look to it. Now, that being said, it's so tight that, I really wouldn't see it as like a diamond reversal kind of deal yet, or even much of a megaphone, but just something to be mindful of. Personally, I just consider it largely sideways, which I'm sure we've already discussed many times. And, look at exactly where we backed off, right? So just like down here where we found support. Well, let me just bring in the drawings. Right, so I believe we made a trade around this zone of interest, giving it a bit of wiggle room because it would be the first test, and this was some tight consolidation, and it would have been a fake out. Anyway, you can watch that 27th video or whatever. So we backed off, I should say, right off of the upper end of the range as anticipated. However, the bulls are currently just looking for a daily higher low right now, with anything over 780.10 being one. So that you can see the 8 EMA, this blue squiggly line here, is trying to hold as support. The bulls are trying to hold this as support, and I would be cautious. If you are an EMA trader or a moving average trader in general, these can be kind of tricky, right? It looks like, oh, maybe it'll just hold and then we'll just launch from there, and that could happen. I'm not saying that that's impossible, but my point is that when the slope is so, it's very flat, right? There's a lack of slope. It's the moving averages become less of a support, less of a meaningful support, and you can just kind of look back, right? This is exactly what I'm talking about, right? So boom, look at this kind of candle, right? It's a very similar candle. They can be very deceptive, right? Because the EMAs get tested, bulls see this big long lower wick, they think, oh, that's bullish. This EMA is gonna hold, and we're just gonna keep lifting off of it. But what actually happens is we dump down, right? So excuse me. So there's no guarantee. Of course, it could be like this, right? For sure. But I'm just consider it. Just build that into your narrative, okay? The context is also slightly different from here, and you actually do have a little bit more of a slope. But anyway, so just be cautious, right? Ultimately, we're looking for a daily higher low with anything over 780.10 being one. So, I also let's see here. Let's check that hourly trend going into the end of the day. So these bounces are kind of weak. Bulls are unable to create enough range. Well, they have yet been able to create enough range to set a daily higher low, but now they're starting to do so here, right? So you have essentially you have 6 candles of upside, although there are a few inside bars in there, and ideally the bulls would make just a little bit more space. Like if they could pop over these EMAs, that'd be a much better look. But this is already getting to the point where one would anticipate a higher low, and I believe this center line is marked off because of this was just the last little highest close before a large move down where the bears really made a stand, and so you can see that the bulls showed up to play defense off of it, right? So if you zoomed into the macro, potentially there was even a day trade there, right? And so another thing too is that you can kind of mark off these zones, which I suppose I could have done that earlier. But if you use, the pivots on the way up, very often they create just a nice zone, right? So I like to have typically 3 levels. If you've seen my other videos, you know what I'm talking about. I like to have 3 levels that you can make an argument for their, like, why they're significant, right? So of course this one is the move down, this one is a last little stall before a bull flag, and of course this is the lowest close of this whole structure. And so I like to just create these. That's how I like to create the zones of interest. Anyway, yeah. So ideally, bulls will show up tomorrow and defend 833.42, break the higher highs over 851.51 to set that daily higher low. Otherwise, we'll just look a little bit deeper, right? I don't hate bottom fishing plays. You know, if the bears are able to step in tomorrow and defend this high of 867.02 and break to lower lows under 833.42, then the bulls will be unable to set that daily low, and I would be interested in looking deeper if it were to come down here, because this RSI would come up to meet price. And let's see. Yeah, I'd be interested in that. Maybe even like starting from here, right? Just being mindful that tomorrow is Friday, so if you're unable to get some partial profit to protect a swing, you know, I don't love that, because you have 2 days of what do you call it, news overhang, right? Who knows? You know, Elon Musk could trip and die and forget the plans for the next, you know, Model 4 or whatever. Hmm. So that about covers it, right? Again, whenever we're range bound, we just want to be very, very mindful of the range. All the best plays are off the range. Could this work here for a daily higher low? It could work, yeah. But really, what we care about is more plays just like these, right? Just like that play, just like this play, and just like this really clean short. You know, I don't love the idea of shorting Tesla now, right? Right now, it just, especially with this bear break with minimal follow through. But the point is that, you know, we were range bound, and so playing the range was the ticket. And the more that we go sideways, the better it is for the bulls, right? This is pretty much Tesla's MO, right? Sideways and up is pretty much the MO. What we don't want is a sharp decline. Once we see this sharp decline, that'll be a big red flag, okay? But for now, the bulls continue to play defense. All right. Okay, NIO, more or less the same, right? Where it's similar in the sense that we are range bound on the daily time frame. Although I believe NIO came in earlier into this range. Nope, Tesla came into the range earlier. NIO had a bit more follow through. Anyway, the bulls continue to play defense off of this 55.38 level, this highest close. You can see there, you know, the as soon as we get below, the bulls come out and start buying. So same idea, because we're range bound, we really just care about the range. Like that's the only play that I want it up here. Like, I don't like making any plays unless they're shorter term plays, right? But for the, you know, for, I feel like for these videos, I don't know how many people bother with day trading these, like, you know, big mover sectors. And they are good day traders, but I just feel like it's so much easier to swing and capture a big move than it is to be on the smaller time frames. I mean, I'm a busy guy too, so maybe that's just me. Anyway, yeah. So this is still the potential of, you know, whether maybe you wouldn't want to call it a flag, but it's certainly got the look of like a wedge, right? A falling wedge. I'm sure if we were to zoom in, then actually, still a lot of space for it, right? Like, yeah, why not, right? Just the idea being that the consolidation is very contained. That's really all we care about, right? So right now the hourly trend is bullish. The bulls are trying to set another hourly higher low here at 57.11, and if they can hold this low 57.11 and break the higher highs over 59.20, they'll change that hourly trend, or rather continue that hourly trend bullish, and we will look for some more daily bounce follow through. And I don't hate this. Looking for, especially if you are, let's say you're long NIO and you're looking to like hedge, well, like, I don't know, you want to sell a call. Around here is where I would be looking to do that, right? You want to get your hourly overbought conditions into this trend line, into all these, you know, all of this price action stuff here, stuff, right? You can see how there's like a little big an increase in volume here, right? So as you get up into here, if you're looking to hedge your position, or I guess if you're aggressive, right? If you want to go short, trying to nail top, here's where I would begin to be interested. All right. That's pretty much it. So as long as we're range bound, that's all I care about. And the next play is probably a short off of up here. If if the bears show up and just dump it through, whenever we leave a range and then enter a prior like balance area, you anticipate the lows to get tested, right? But I bet we'd make a stop here first, because this was also a little low here. So we're watching this level. Should this break down? I don't think it would just be like a day, but the point is, if we start finding acceptance below this 53.68 level, this 55.38 level, then I think that the 50 test is likely. Okay. Sweet. Alrighty, so let me. I was hoping that we would come down here. I'm trying to get, I guess, bigger on size. Although, I guess it doesn't really matter. But instead, the Bulls printed a nice shallow higher low and just ripped it to new highs, new all-time highs for Workhorse. Oh, good look for Bulls. So, daily higher low has been set at 33.50. Let's check the hourly trend. Hourly trend is bullish. Bulls have yet to set a higher low since 35.85. So whenever we pull back, we'll just look for that, and there's plenty of space for bulls to do so. And so if I were to start messing with a zone of interest, then probably be between these two levels, right? If we start pulling back, I would imagine that we would lose this this close fairly easily, and so probably be most interested around like the 37. Looking for that higher low. Let's see what we can. Maybe there's some confluence. I think I'd like it like that. And ideally we'd get those 5-minute conditions oversold, and that's about right. Although maybe you'd want to what? There we go. Maybe we'd want to be a bit more conservative though. Yeah. So if looking for an hourly higher low, 5-minute oversold conditions into, let's say, the 37s. I think that's a pretty good look, right? Into where all this occurred, all this consolidation here occurred. Okie doke. Gosh, this is a lot of drawings. All right, so this falling wedge that we were watching. All right, so first things first, this daily bounce that has now begun may just set a lower high under 60.04, in which case we'll be mindful of the potential head and shoulders pattern. But right now the bounce has, really hasn't even gotten going yet. So let's check that hourly trend. This is not very impulsive. So this is a bit, if you were a bull and you bought this move down, you're probably not feeling terribly comfortable. That being said, it does have a kind of a rounded look to it. So the bulls ideally will step in soon to start, seeing some follow through on this hourly trend change, and make some space on the daily chart to, attempt a daily higher low. Okay. So let's see. Still a very weak bounce. Oh, let me bring the drawings back in. All right, so let's check out this hourly wedge breakout. What's it shaping up like? So it wasn't quite as impulsive, this break. This break is more of a time break, right? Just kind of meandering sideways than it was a price action break. So another red flag for the, at least behind the wedge, right? We're going to be a little bit more skeptical of the wedge now, because it's just not really the kind of breakout that you want to see. For all we know, there's like another trend line that gets established and the wedge, can get extended. We'll see. But for now, the breakout is on. It's not terribly impulsive yet. but bulls have played defense for quite some time, and we are there. They are trying to get some lift right now. A lot of volume on that either. Yeah, I'm just not really. I don't love it. I'm not really buying this. Okay, but that being said, if the bulls can show up and defend this low of 46.94, break to higher highs over 48.35, then they will see some more daily bounce follow through, and the next daily resistance, I believe, is up here at 51.34. Yes, next daily resistance is here at 51.34. So XPEV just in the tightening range. We're just watching the range. I don't love trading right in the middle of it, you know. So if we come up here and test these major resistances at 59, then there'll be plays there to be had. Otherwise, it's a wait and see for me. I want to see, if I'm going to be bullish, I want to see an impulse up so that I can be kind of confident to ride a little bit of momentum. But in the middle of the range, I don't love it. Same thing. Right, so a lot of these guys are just pretty much range bound. We're just going sideways, meandering about. Plug also had a bit of a fake out up here with that bull break with no follow through. So, excuse me. I mean, there's a potential short up here, right? If the bulls are able to, let's see, so the last daily higher low has been set at 60.77. The hourly trend is very bullish still. There's a lot of space on this time frame to set a higher low, so the bulls are looking for a higher low right now. And I would say that really this is the most meaningful one to me. But that being said, they're likely to set one above this little higher low. And the reason I say that is just because there's so much price action here that I really doubt that the bulls would not set a higher low before coming down to test these lows. That being said, the more we pull back, the more likely a lower high is. So, you know, getting to be a bit more than a bull we want to see, but we are still holding above this highest close of this like big cost consolidation structure. All of these closes down here, right? So excuse me. Yes, I don't hate it, you know, looking for like a little bit deeper. I don't hate that. Let's see, let's see. That being said, we are in the middle of this range. Nah, scratch that. You know, sure, it's a trade that could work, but just knowing that we're doing this range bound thing, I don't know. I prefer just to top fish and bottom fish the range. That's really it. Okay, but that being said, if the bulls can step in tomorrow, defend this 61.03 level, break to higher highs over 70.51. You know, we'll see some more daily bounce follow through. The hourly trend will continue, and then we'll be leaking up here, right at the all-time high resistance. I'm sorry, no, it's not of the all-time high resistance, but of the range resistance of $75. It seems 75.49. Okay, so range bound. Oh, look at that. Trade worked out after all. Okay, so if you stuck to your guns, looks like the bulls are making their way back into this channel, and so I'm going to give it one more day before expanding the channel to include this low here. Yeah. So I would not be surprised with an initial rejection from this high here of 87 cents. So I am anticipating a lower high against it, although that is a rather nice move. It's on good volume, so we'll see. I'm not looking to short it by any means, but I would anticipate at least like an hourly, you know, pause here. Let's check the hourly trend. Hourly trend is, oh gosh, there's just no volume on it. So check the 4 hour. All right, let's just stick to the 4 hour. Yeah. So 4 hours just gonna be looking for an hour for a higher low whenever. Oh wow, look at that pause right on the R1. Anyway, so whenever we pull back for 4 hour consolidation, we will be looking for a higher low. Anything over 60 cents will be one. And if we can get a higher low and higher high, come test this median line, then I'll be inclined to drag this channel out some to include this data. That's pretty much it. I think. Let's see. All right, that about covers it. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you all soon.